Welcome to the program. After all the problems and delays, Delhi's Commonwealth Games organisers finally have something to smile about. The troubled event has been launched with a spectacular opening ceremony, lauded at home and abroad. But there are still concerns about how the mismanagement of the Games preparations might impact on the competition. There have already been some early glitches. For the moment, though, Indians are happy to celebrate the rare good news generated by the opening ceremony. From New Delhi, Paul Lockyer reports.
A late wave of patriotism has swept through New Delhi. Even the ferocious Indian media has eased off in the attacks on the organisers of the much-maligned Games. On the streets, young Games volunteers from the Sikh community were anxious to defend bruised national pride.
We are trying our best.
Yes,
India
exactly.
is trying their best to make it a huge success.
Whenever you start anything, definitely you face so many thousands of problems, but that doesn't mean that you would stop trying.
The main stadium certainly became a beacon, sparking a street party as the opening ceremony unfolded. But it was a very different story in other parts of the city. The opening ceremony is now well underway, but you wouldn't know it here in Old Delhi. Very little ever stops the flow of humanity through one of the most crowded areas on earth. The shopkeepers and street vendors certainly know about the Commonwealth Games. They're hoping that the event will revive interest from tourists whose numbers have dropped because of recent security scares, including the shooting attack on a minibus in this area that left 2 Taiwanese travellers wounded. But the presence of big numbers of troops and police around the Games venues and throughout the city hardly presents the most inviting image. Australia continues to advise strongly against travel to New Delhi, and the Commonwealth Games team is being kept under very close watch. This was one of the few outings allowed, a reception of the Australian High Commission.
It would be great if athletes could go out and see the city and enjoy it, but the team has got some very strict rules in place to ensure their security and their safety, and I think the parents back at home would feel a bit more confident about that. What a great sight to see so many of Australia's best athletes here tonight.
Senator Mark Arbib, the Federal Sports Minister, discovered for himself just how thorough the security is around the Games venues.
I have to say I've been frisked about 10 times since I've been here, and everyone, all Australians who are sort of going into those high security areas are getting frisked. That's just part of life here, and again, we support it.
But the travel restrictions are frustrating some Australian athletes.
Yeah, I'm kind of the person that likes to, see other things outside the box, so to speak, so I like to get amongst it a bit. But unfortunately we can't do that because of security reasons. Many athletes will leave Delhi after they finish competition. There's the possibility of only one organised tour outside the capital.
There's talk about a secure train going out to Agra to see the Taj, that athletes could go out and do that trip, not just from Australia, from other countries. So hopefully that will take place.
India is desperate for that to happen. It needs all the positive news it can get from an event that was facing a deep crisis just 10 days ago. After all the trouble and the acrimony in the lead-up to this event, the Commonwealth Games Federation finally gave its tick of approval just before it was about to begin. But there are many lingering concerns about what could go wrong during the running of the Games, and the broadcasters are particularly worried.
It's been riven with technical difficulties, with organisational difficulties, and we are seriously concerned on a day-to-day basis that the events will roll out. None of the venues have stable power, and that's one of the most critical aspects of a host broadcast.
John Barton is the Director of Sport for the Asia and Pacific Broadcasting Union, delivering the Games coverage to 24 countries.
What we are seeing in the construct of these games is the Indian bureaucracy, and none of this dynamism from the Indian entrepreneurs, the young guys who understand technology, who understand production. They have been marginalised. This is being run by an old Indian establishment, and it hasn't been run very well.
The last couple of weeks has not been helpful in terms of the Commonwealth Games. I think everyone is just honest enough to say, you know, there was some serious issues that needed to be completed. There were issues, they shouldn't be hidden. The Indian authorities have said they will obviously investigate into those, and that is something that we'd obviously be interested in, because in future there's going to be the games will be going to Glasgow, and we're also bidding for the Gold Coast for 2018, and you've got to learn from these things.
There's been a dramatic mood change in New Delhi from the despair and embarrassment created by the mismanagement of Games preparations. People are again daring to believe that the Games may yet be a triumph and lay the foundations for a tilt at the Olympics. There's certainly no denying the bubbling optimism of the next generation.
That one-liner is there, that all is well that ends well, and we really wish that India definitely makes a place in everyone's heart.
Paul Lockyer reporting from New Delhi.